Look, I fully support whatever method you use to better understand yourself, whether that is astrology, whether that is MBTI, whether that's Enneagram, whatever. Fully support it. But if you're going to use those methods, for the love of God, at least use that information to actually better yourself, not to excuse your fucking behavior. Yeah, you hear what I'm saying? Like, cause like this is why astrology bitches get a bad rap, and I am an astrology bitch, relatively new. I wasn't before, but now I'm like, oh, there's something to this shit, you know. But I fully support, you gathering the information about yourself however you can, but you gotta use that information. Like, it's meant to help you better understand yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your tendencies, and just kind of work through that so you can try and like be the best version of yourself. Nobody's perfect, but it's a way to be self-aware. But astrology bitches get a bad rap because people be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm a Gemini, so I'm two-faced. That's just how I am. Like, don't fucking no, boo, that's not how the fuck. No, that's not how it fucking works. Like, you don't get to escape accountability just because you can explain why you do what you do. That's the thing. You don't get to escape accountability. And it's not validating, right? Like, it's validating to have an explanation for why we do what we do, whatever that explanation is, right? I'm like, oh yeah, okay, so that's why, that's validating. And we love validation, like, right? And we're in an age of self-validation, which is fucking great. Great. A lot of us have been, kind of lost for a long time, and we're finding more and more explanations of why we do the things that we do. But it's not validate. What's not validating, what doesn't feel good, is accountability sometimes. Because sometimes you're the problem. Like, I remember I was in live stream one time and somebody typed, they were like, I love astrology and all that, but I don't really use it for myself. I don't really use it to, understand myself very much, but I do use it to analyze other people. And I was like, no. If you're going to use a method, go all the fucking way. Why are you so... Oh yeah, it's easy to point out other people's faults and shortcomings, but not yours. It's easy to analyze everybody else and like, and gain insight into other people, but you won't gain insight to the one person that you're with 24/7, yourself. Use that information to get better. Don't use it as a fucking excuse, because I guarantee you, like, first of all, it's not going to work for like a lot of things in your life. Like, most things in your life, it's not going to be like, like, I can't, like, this, like, I'm a Leo, right? And I can't just walk around being like, I'm sorry, I'm a Leo and I must be the center of attention at all times, and I'm going to make it everybody's problem. Now, wanting to be the center of attention can be a good thing. Look, I'm being the center of attention right now, but I can use that need to be the center of attention to spread information, But there's also times that trying to be the center of attention is inappropriate, Like... It's nice to know, like, all the things that make you really, really cool, but you got to know the things that, like, make you not so cool as well. Like, I'm a great performer. I'm a very good friend. Leos, we're great performers. We're very social, energetic, extroverted, but we can have narcissistic tendencies as well. Or there's a danger to lean towards narcissistic tendencies, not the fucking disorder, just the fucking dictionary definition of just being self-centered and vain. And so that's a good thing to watch out for. So I'm like, oh, okay, if that's something that I'm in danger of leaning towards, then let me watch out for that behavior and let me nip it in the bud when I see it happening. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna run, but that shit is not meant to like run around the world, like with this This is how I am. This is how I am, and you must accept me for all of these things that I know are wrong with myself, and I'm not going to make any effort to combat it whatsoever. That's not how it works. It doesn't feel good. Accountability doesn't feel good sometimes, right? And so we avoid it. You know, we are so quick to label everybody else as toxic. Everybody else is, violating our boundaries about this, and that, but we never stop to think that maybe we're doing, like, am I the problem? Am I the drama? Like, am I doing some of these things? Like, we all have toxic tendencies. Like, am I feeding into my toxic tendencies? Man. I'm not saying to, like, I don't know. I think maybe some of us are like really scared of, hey, Jack, shut up. Some of us are scared of gaslighting ourselves. Again, maybe some of us like went through abuse and shit like that. And we're afraid of gaslighting ourselves into thinking that everything is our fault, because maybe we've been in a situation before, which I have, where we thought that everything that was happening to us was our fault. Jack, stop. Everything that was happening to us was our fault. And so in order to stop ourselves, maybe in order to stop ourselves from gaslighting ourselves, we then assume that we are never wrong. But that's not good either. And I know it can be hard to find a happy medium. That's why we need to go to therapy as much as we are able, even though I know that therapy is not accessible to everybody. But actually, I'll put a link in the bio. Not a link in the bio. I'll link in the description of this video of a online therapy service for Black and Indigenous people of the diaspora. But it's necessary, it's necessary for growth. It's very, very necessary for growth to like identify your weaknesses. It can't be all, like MBTI too, I'm an ENTP. I share a personality profile with Tony Stark, Jack Sparrow. Woo! Yeah. So I'm pretty awesome, but obviously I have some fucking pitfalls, like pride. And that's not to say that that's what you're gonna necessarily be for your entire life, or like if you know you're an extrovert, like very, very much an extrovert, that means you'll have to put a lot of effort into balancing out introverted tendencies. If you're intuitive, then maybe you need to balance a little bit towards sensory. If you're more of a thinker, you're more of a logic person, but you neglect feelings and emotions, maybe then you need to start, maybe you need to try and get in touch with your emotional side. Like, it's not only meant to identify and explain why you do what you do and what you are, but it's also to tell you what you need to work on. For the love of God, whatever system you use is cool. But if you take that information and you use it to justify your bad behavior, never changing, never making any efforts to grow, then that makes you an asshole. I know it's hard to hear, but in my opinion, and I'm not a therapist, but in my opinion, that's what it is. That is what it is. And in case anyone wants to know, I'm a Leo sun, Gemini moon, and Aries rising.